What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Monday Scale News Update. Last week we took off as I was traveling. Matt helped me out the week before to try and give you guys as much content as possible, but we're back this week and I've got a couple weeks worth of news that we're going to go over, so let's jump right into it. RC 4-Wheel Drive has been posting some blurred out images of what really is pretty clear to be a Toyota 4Runner body. They had teased the 4Runner before, and now I think we're finally getting quite close to seeing that actually being delivered. I've heard that dealers actually got pictures delivered to them to kind of gauge their interest in pre-order quantities. So it sounds like those haven't quite hit the water yet to make the trip over to the United States, but I do expect that we'll probably start to see those before too long. For those that appreciate the scale aspect in all areas of RC, Proline released some Hoosier tires in a dirt oval style pattern, just like you'd see on the full-size rigs. Now you can get Hoosier tires with true white letter sidewalls on them from Proline themselves. They look pretty good. They're available in different widths and sizes, from short course stuff to buggies, depending on which classes you're racing in dirt oval. But even though I don't really have any interest in racing dirt oval, it's always cool to see more items being released in the interest of scale looks. Proline had a couple of new body releases here recently as well. One was a Colorado, which I don't think looked that great. Not that I think Colorados look that good either, but it was very squatty looking. It looked much more like a racer body, which maybe is where it's aimed. But the other one that they are releasing is an actual licensed Toyota FJ body. Proline had this body style way back when, and it's been discontinued for a really long time. I believe they had it released under the Toyota name at first, and then it got rebranded as the Bushwhacker body. But I think that got discontinued around 2009 or 10 maybe. So it's been a long time since we've seen this option available from Proline. Nice to see it back. This Toyota FJ body was always one of my favorites. I actually had a rig built on this on an old TCS X-Trail chassis. Dinky RC had done some cage work for it. It was just way back when scale was really just a lot newer. There was no such thing as an SCX-10 or anything like that. Pictures of the new MST JP1 have been released. Looks like this one's going to be placed on the MST CFXW chassis, the one that has the portals. Now this is a Jeep style body with a bed on it. Looks good. It looks like it's going to be a Lexan body, but it looks like it's got a hard molded front grille. Pretty cool. I've got one of those CFXW chassis here. It just wasn't one that I really ever liked that much. The motor is really high. It's got a servo mounted on axle, which I don't hate that part just because I do like the performance of the servo on axle at times, but the really high motor position, and then some of the design of the axle shafts and some of the really small bearings they used in the portals always had concerns for me. So it just wasn't one of those ones that I ever really pushed to use that much, but still a pretty decent looking platform overall, and I really like this body option that they're about to release. I'll put links to all that stuff in the description below. You guys can go check out whatever info is available on that at this time. Looks like Traction Hobbies is teasing a new 1/6 scale trophy truck style build. Now, Traction Hobbies, we've seen them have like the Cragsman before. They've always got these, different scale. I think that the Cragsman, I believe, is a 1/8 scale. However, again, they're going with a little bit larger. They're doing 1/6 scale, which would match something like the Losi Super Baja Ray. Being that Traction Hobbies is still one of those newer brands out there, not sure what to think on their reliability or parts availability, especially when you start looking at rigs that are going to be go fast and high impact, high torture type applications. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of support something like this would get. In the scale side or crawler side, you can get away with a company that may not have as much part support sometimes, just because that you're not putting things under the stresses sometimes that you are with these bashers, unless you're looking at something like an Ultra 4 style rig. So, there's some give and take, and I could see some definite downsides of owning something by Traction Hobbies, especially in this type of situation. But yet to be seen. Maybe they overbuilt the crap out of it, and we'll just have to wait and see some of the details once they finally release those. Along with those new body releases from Proline, they're also offering their Jeep TRX4 body in a pre-painted option. However, the street price listed for this is $93. And while having somebody else paint a body and detail it for you is not cheap, you're definitely paying a premium for this thing. So I don't know that a ton of people are going to do it, but for those Traxxas owners who just don't want to dig in and get their hands dirty themselves, probably going to sell a handful of them. A while back, we had seen some sneak peeks from Cross RC on some new releases that were going to be coming on their Demon platform. They now show the SR4 option on this, which has got a plastic molded rear cage, a Lexan body, and then depending on which model you buy of that, either like an A or a B, may depend on which parts you get in either a metal or plastic option. And then we have the FR4 and the SP4. Now the FR4 is like an SUV style one that we saw some sneak pictures of a number of months back, and the SP4 is a truck style with an actual bed on it rather than the truggy style rear that you see on the SG or SF or whatever acronym. Again, Cross really needs to work on these naming conventions. Now, some of this information is a little bit hard to find from Cross. Their website is terrible. So trying to find and navigate and figure out what's new and what's not and what information and what level of product you get and which model and things like that, something that Cross really needs to put some attention towards. But more options coming from them. So if you're looking for an SG4FR, SP4C, I'm sure they probably have some sort of combination of those parts for you. You can go check out their website and see all of the different models they have, see if any of those look interesting to you. But for this week, guys, we're gonna wrap up the video at that point. Again, thanks guys for being patient with me missing last week. We're back at it now. We'll be rolling into the holiday season here very soon. Looking forward to that. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Make sure and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you guys on the next one.